thinking about it and processing, that recognition comes forward and makes you feel really good. When I listened to people's superpowers, they thought they had one thing, but I didn't listen to anybody who didn't tell me at least 3 things. So when they're sharing the story, and they're saying something like, I know I gotta remember who all did I talk to. They're sharing a story about their superpower. When you really stop and listen, you're like, well, wait a minute. To do that, you have to be good at actively listening. You have to be good at understanding someone else's needs. You have to be good at keeping organized all the people to make those connections. Connections is the superpower she listed, but she told me a whole bunch in her story. So when you listen to people's superpowers and they explain that story to you, it's not just one. There's always 2 or 3 or 4. So you've got to really pause and listen closely to understand what they might be, because you're filling up your backpack. When you know what's in your backpack, you can start to pull that stuff out and use it on a regular basis. Now this gets a little bit more vulnerable, because we start to feel like, well, if I admit to this, I'm being boastful. I'm bragging about my superpowers, being a little bit arrogant that I'm good at it. That's not true. So I want to eliminate that out of the fear zone immediately. All of the things that you just listed are a gift, and they are a gift to the ripple effect of this community, your families, your teams, and everyone else. I heard empathy, connection. I heard sincerity. I heard compassion. I heard organization. I heard all kinds of things. But what I didn't hear is a single thing that was boastful or bragging or arrogant. We should take those superpowers and treat them like a gift. It's almost like at Christmas time, if you give that to your children and they just tuck it under the tree, what does it do? Ticks me off. I spend time and energy picking that gift out. Your superpowers make you your unique self. When you're not using them, that's what you did. You tucked it under that Christmas tree. And that probably, if people around you know that that's your superpower, it's going to tick them off. Because they want to see the best of you. When you let that shine, it increases your motivation and your energy all over the place. The last element to finding our spark is our passion pulse. Our passion pulse is kind of hard, because a lot of people think, well, I should already know my passion, but I don't know that I do. And so they start to panic. When reality is, we don't always know what our passions are. Does anybody know who Vera Wang is? Yeah, amazing fashion designer, right? Vera Wang only became a fashion designer because when she went to get married in her mid-30s, she decided to design her own wedding dress. That's how. She didn't know what her passion was before that. She decided to design it, fell in love with it, and started making more. We don't always know what our passions are because we also aren't born with them. Believe it or not, these little babies don't have a clue what their passions are. We have different experiences. We meet new people. We travel to different places. Our passions can bubble up over time. There's all kinds of people who find new passions at 60, 70, and 80 years old. We don't have just one. We have multiple passions. You can go after them at the same time, one at a time. You can pick what that looks like. So you don't have just one lightning bolt of a passion that you have to go after. We also can hear people say also, it's too late. I'm too old. I don't want to go after this. It's too late. I've done my thing. I had a good life. You guys, I'm from the age where Laura Wilder was an author. Does anybody remember her? She was amazing, right? She raised a big family, ran her home, did all kinds of amazing things. And she wrote her first book when she was 60 years old. That's when her first book was published. She was 60. There was another gal that I love, I just lost her name. Menopause woman. Her sister died of a heart attack, and her passion became teaching other people So she went on to be a bodybuilder, won all kinds of worldwide trophies at 83 years old. She did not lift a weight until she was 75. It is never too late to let our light shine. It is never too late to go after a passion, whether it be a new passion or an old passion. Other people will tell me, well, I need to wait for the perfect moment. It's kind of like when we say, well, I'm going to wait to have kids until they're financially stable. Well, yeah, right. That does not happen. Like, you can't wait for the perfect moment for your passion either. When it sparks and when the time is right, you're going to know it. Colonel Sanders with KFC, he was an interesting one to study because he actually had started a restaurant and he was doing some pretty good things in his little town, and then they closed the bypass. So he lost his restaurant. Now most people would have said, okay, I'm done, I'm folding, I give up. But he decided, this is my passion. I'm going to perfect this recipe and I'm going to take it on the road and just see what happens. Look what happened. I also love Sarah Blakely. Some of us might know her, and if you don't, you might be wearing her spandex. She was pretty amazing. She had a full-time job, was in her 20s, only had $5,000 in the bank, nothing else, but she knew that she wanted to make life better for women that were professionals because all of the undergarments were completely uncomfortable and she hated it. So she set out on a mission. She got turned down time and time and time again. She made a prototype, went to a factory. Nope, won't work because of this. Came back, tried something new. Took it over here. Nope, won't work because of this. Took it back, tried something new. Finally gets a manufacturer and they say, now you're going to go sell it. She proposed it all over the place. Every single person told her no. Until someone on Oprah Winfrey's staff saw it. Oprah put it on her show, and overnight she had $1 billion company. She's gone on to create companies and do amazing things. She was 20 years old, gang. The time was not right. She knew no one. She had no connections. She didn't know how to make clothing. She wasn't even interested in fashion. But she did it because her passion was to help other people and make life better for them. Now, she's gone on to create nonprofit organizations that give back and help women learn how to be educators and how to do things in the professional world. She's pretty amazing. The point is, there's never going to be the perfect time, but you'll know when it hits. Sometimes, like Laura Wildler, we have to wait until the kids are grown, and I have a little freedom in my mind and in my space. Or maybe you do need some certain connections. Still put it at the forefront of your mind so that you can start to focus on it and grab a hold of it. But sometimes we just have to wait. A lot of people don't know. That's reality. If I go up to people, 95% of the time they will say, I have no idea what my passion is. I don't know, and I don't know how to figure it out. That's probably consistent with a lot of you. And that's completely fine. It does not mean that you don't have one. It just means that you haven't discovered it yet, or that you didn't realize it was a huge passion. I have a friend who loves dogs. She has quite a few of them. So I started talking to her about, well, what's your passion around dogs? She started to explain it. I said, let's try a few things. She volunteered at the ARL. She did not like that. She started to train dogs for Vietnam vets. She liked it, but it wasn't quite her thing. She ended up opening a doggy daycare on the side, working her full-time job, because her passion was around making sure that the dogs were healthy and having fun. She had to try several things before she got there. So we don't always know, and I'm not going to ask you to necessarily know, but I do want you to think. I want you to think deep down. What are the things that I love to do? Because as we start to think about that and really start to explore, then we can do things like ask other people, what have you seen me do that you think might be my passion? What are the things that light me up? How do I build that up? What does that look like? When we start to do that, we can start to ponder what those passions are. If we sit back and wait to do nothing, what's going to happen? Nothing. If we start to go out and explore and adventurate, all kinds of things that can happen. When we figure out what those passions are, we start to do them more often. We start to fall in love with it. We can keep trying and adventuring and experimenting all the time as soon as we figure out maybe in the direction that we want to go. This one's harder because just like we talked about before, I would ask you to schedule 60 minutes. Well, we have 33 left. So we don't have time to do that. But when I ask people, usually the question, if money were no object whatsoever, what would you do? If fear wasn't included and the road was just wide open, the pathway was there for you, what would you do? When I ask people that question, they usually have a glimmer. It's there. Oh, and it might be something like, oh, I would help people. I would serve more people. Okay, how would we do that? What would that look like? You might not have all of the details, but that spark is flickering off in the distance. Or when I ask people, what do you get super excited to do and you lose track of time when you're doing it? You just lose. It's not binge watching Netflix either. That is not a passion. But it's that thing that just gets you so excited that you can't wait to do it. What does that look like for you? There's space in your workbook to jot a couple things down. So what do you think your passion is? What does it look like? Is it helping other people? Maybe specifically helping them do what? Is it helping build people up? Does it evolve around a thing? I love to travel. I love animals. What does it look like? Pick one of those questions and start to jot down what your passion might be. Remember, you don't have just one. You have lots. The experiences that you've had over your lifetime have created even more. They can be little nuggets or great big ones. The map could be fully completed, or you might only know a stop on the way. Have no connections to each other at all. I love to empower people. I love to travel. I like dogs. I like to design houses. You might have no connections whatsoever. Your job isn't to figure it out. Your job is to start to figure out those little nuggets one by one. You don't have to put them together. You can do anything at all right now, regardless of the salary, fear, any of that. What would it look like? Hopefully you have at least one passion pulse down, just one idea. Now, when we share this time, you're going to share what that is, but the listener gets to ask a lot of curious questions. So as the listener, your role is to try to pull a little bit more out of them. So if somebody says something like, well, I want to help others, who specifically do you want to help? Boys, girls, a certain age group, somebody that's in trouble, people that are happy? What would help? What does that look like? Start asking curious questions, because when you do that, even if they don't have the answer, because they might not, if they don't have the answer, they're going to have ideas to go back and ask themselves to help them figure out a little bit more about that passion. Jot those questions down if you want to. And then I'm going to have you swap. So you have a little bit longer for this exercise, because I really want you to try to dive into whatever that passion is just a little bit more. Does everybody have at least one? Show of hands. All right. Get up and chat with somebody that you haven't We don't normally talk about these types of things. And it's usually more surface level. So it feels really good when you can actually do that. Actually, one of my favorite networking questions when I meet someone is, what do you do in your mouth that lights you up? If we started to ask that question to people and required them to start thinking about this more often, our world would change. How else did it feel when you shared? Anybody? What was that? Enlightening. Why was it enlightening? Ooh, the more you talked, the more you learned about yourself. Because of the questions? Yeah. Yeah, didn't consider it before we were asked to consider it. Did anybody get clear on what their passion was based on the questions asked? Yeah? Maybe have a new thought about how you could exercise that passion. I know I was just chatting with someone who is a woman straight from my heart. She doesn't know this, but one of my non-negotiables is that I will travel with my children so that they can experience the world. I do not want them to travel for fun. I want them to experience the world, which means when we go to Haiti, they wash their clothes in a bucket like the Haitians do. When we go to Barcelona, we are in it. We are not there just to have fun and do tourist stuff. They have learned to love the world because of the experiences that they have had. She had something similar down. But when you start to ask questions like, is it just your kids or is it all kids? Is it just single moms or is it parents? Is it mom and dad? Is it actually going and touching? Or can you take it to the classroom in some way? What does experience the world mean to you? What does that look like to you? What kind of ripple effect could that have if you figured out how to empower parents to do that all over the place? Think about it. She shared with me the example was the Grand Canyon. You can study that on a piece of paper and it looks like a big hole in the dirt, right? But if you go there and you ride the donkey down to the bottom and back up, it's a whole different experience. You start to learn about the world. Somebody else shared, I love to plan and organize stuff. I love to see the before and the after. I love to see the transition between what it was and what it is. Oh my goodness. The opportunities are endless. Think about that. If you also have a passion around homes, you can design houses. If you have a passion around art, you can do that with art. If you have a passion around projects, go be a scrum master, a project manager. Think about how you can transition that in any avenue. Then you got to start to pull the other passion pulses in to figure out, where do I really want to use it? What are the other things that light me up? What kind of transitions should I make? What does that look like? It's kind of fun when we start to really think about it, and it moves it to the front of our mind. So don't be surprised or shocked when all of a sudden things start happening around you that relate to this passion that you just talked about. All of a sudden you're going to go, wait a minute, I could actually organize that. I could actually plan that. Oh, with my kids? Yeah, I could teach them a little bit about that. We could watch some YouTubes, and I could take them down to the science center and they could learn about the rocks. That would be cool. There's all kinds of ways that we can actually go after our passions right beside us. Now, a lot of people will say, Lindsay, are you telling me to quit my job and go do this? Please do not do that. Don't keep your jobs. When we leave change, we'll get a bad rap. We do not want that. But what we are saying is you were given your passions for a reason. You were given your superpowers for a reason. Your values bubbled to the top for a reason. They make you your unique you. They make you special. There's a reason that you were giving them, and we want you to turn that light on and shine. There are some fun ways that you can pull all of these elements together. There's a little example in your book around how you can talk about your values, your superpowers, and your non-negotiables. Now, this works for the people that are really organized and like those structured formats. For other people, I would say, Make your affirmation list. Get a bulletin board. Start writing your passions down. Just start documenting them so that you see them every day to keep yourself in the learning zone and the spark zone. The more you can keep it right in front of you, the more it's going to manifest. So you can do a lot of different things to seal your spark. The first thing is to share it. Share it with everybody around you. Tell your leader, tell your friends, tell everybody what you see as your superpowers. Ask them to describe a time that they've seen you at your best. Then go out and say, hey, leader, I really love to organize and plan things. The next time that we get an opportunity, I'm raising my hand right now. I want the stretch assignment. Could you please assign it to me? You might love it, you might hate it, but you tried it. You adventurated to see if that was your thing. The more that you share it, the more that people will see you like that. Share all of it. Tell the world. I also want you to just embrace the journey. We have this myth in our world that perfectionism is out there. We start here, we identify our spark, and it's this nice little line over to get us to complete happiness. Reality is, if you go with the rule of thirds, about a third of our days we're excited, energized, loving it. A third of our days we're like, that was a great day, okay, nothing bad. And about a third of our days are a struggle, which means the journey from here to here is more like this. It's all over. But when we encounter those bumps, those speed bumps in the road, those obstacles, it's not about halting. It's about figuring out what's the path around it. Maybe there's something better if I go this direction. Or maybe this isn't the spark for me, and I need to move and shift a little bit. We need to be open and really embrace that journey. It's just like raising kids, and I'm sorry I keep relating to this, but raising kids is oh, can I say damn? Raising kids is hard work, people. It is really hard. I mean, I have 4 boys, so I'm telling you, testosterone in the teen years were insane. We may have had one hole in the wall, maybe. We have had, I think, 9 car crashes, absolutely. We have had, I shouldn't even go on, my boys will kill me. But we've had some amazing times. We've had amazing experiences. We've done so many things as a family, and the ripple effect my kids are going to make, I can't wait to see what it looks like. It's awesome. So I had to embrace the bad to get to the good. And now that they're in their 20s, they've realized that I'm smart. And when they started having kids, I'm super smart now. So that's amazing as well. Adventurating we've talked about all day. Adventurating is just testing and trying, experimenting. Pretend like you're in the lab as you move forward. Is this my superpower? Do I truly love this? Is this filling my cup? Absolutely, or not quite like this. I love to empower people. Is it kids? Is it women? Is it a certain role within a profession? What does it look like? Try it out. Let's see what it is. It's exciting. The more you adventurate, the clearer that you're going to get. Ask for those stretch goals. Look for new opportunities that you can volunteer at. Figure out how you can adventurate. And the last way is to make sure that you continue to grow and develop. You have new experiences all the time. The world is changing at warp speed. We're dealing with AI. We're dealing with device fatigue. We're dealing with overload of decisions. All kinds of things that no generation has had to deal with before, which also gives you a lot of new opportunities we don't even know are out there yet. So keep looking, keep developing. Listen to podcasts like Lead the Spark. Selfish plug. Listen to podcasts. Pull out those books. Put it on Audible every time that you drive. Ask people. Look for those one-time mentors. The one-time mentors are the people that you look at and go, wow, you're doing something amazing. We just have coffee. Soak up everything that they have to tell you. Figure out how you can do that. Keep it moving forward. I told you that I love to travel. My husband and I went to Costa Rica not that long ago, and I'm a travel junkie, so this was just the 2 of us, and we met this couple that they were on their honeymoon. We were not, we'll just say that. But we fell in love with them. They were so much fun. And so we met them on the first day, we said, all right, how about we do this? You pick half the excursions, we'll pick half the excursions. Just the night before, say what we need to wear, and let's go with it. That's it. So on this particular day, they said, we're going on an adventure excursion, which, okay, I've raced dirt bikes, I've raced horses, I've done some great, hence the bad names, I've done some crazy things in my life, so I'm like, absolutely, I'm in. Well, the first one is horseback riding, and it was terrible. If you've ever gone on one of those Caribbean things, and they ride horses, and the horses, you could walk faster than them. But we did it, it was fun. The next thing was whitewater rafting. Now, when I think of that, it's 10 people in a tube. No, this was 1 tube per person. Guys, we had so much gear on that I felt I was covered more than a football player. I'm like, I'm gonna die. That's all there is. My face was covered, everything was covered. I flipped upside down 100 times and you just feel the guy grab your back and I'm thinking, I need to lose weight to live. Because I was so scared, right? It was terrifying, but it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. At the end, when we all caught our breath, we were laughing and we were like, okay. Then we went on the zip line. Okay, I don't even like this height. I am not a heights person. I am terrified of heights. I do not like them at all. I don't really want anything to do with them. So we get up there, and my husband's looking at me, and I'm like, do this, do this. So they get you all strapped in, which is totally uncomfortable to start with. And you're like, this hook, have you seen those? They're great. That's supposed to hold me up. Are you insane? Okay, all right. So I'm still interested in going. I'm like, all right, I got this. I can do this. The first one isn't very far. It's like from me to you, right? It's not very far, and I can still see the parking lot. So I'm like, I can get off this ride, and I can go to the parking lot. They can just finish their thing. So I'm still interested, but whatever. So we go on the next one, and so we land, and I'm like, whew, okay, so now the parking lot's further away, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to walk through that cavern, but I think I can do that. I really don't want to do this anymore. Because I'm looking, and the next zip line is like forever, over the treetops in Costa Rica, and I'm thinking, no way. We're about 10 in line, so there's about 10 people, from me to you, right? I'm the first in our little group of 4. And I'm turning around to my husband going, I don't know, he's like, you can do it, just close your eyes, it'll be fine. What if I can't? This is going to be embarrassing, but I'm like, I'm going to do this. I've taught my kids to overcome fears, I'm going to do this. And so I'm looking, and they hook this woman up, and they flip her upside down. And I'm like, what on earth? And now I'm like ready to claw someone's eyes out to get out of this line, right? I'm like, no. My husband goes, you can do it, not everybody's doing it, it's fine, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, okay, I really don't want to do this. I'm only interested in doing this, I don't think I want to do it. He's like, you can. Okay, so what happens to your superpower when you get nervous? It amplifies, it goes wild. I already told you that I'm a talker, right? So I get up in the front of the line, and my mouth does not stop. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I don't really like ziplining. I'm very scared of heights. I can't believe that lady went upside down. Unbeknownst to me, this guy doesn't speak English. The only thing he heard was upside down. In 2 seconds flat, my butt is in the air. I am screaming, and he is shoving me off this platform. And now I'm thinking, if I pee, I'm going to pee in my own face. This is not a good thing, ladies. This was bad, right? But here's what happened. Somewhere between this spot where I was interested and that spot, I became committed. I couldn't get out of it. I'm now strapped in, locked in. I don't even know how to turn myself right side up. I am committed to this. I don't have a way out. And now I can't even get back to the parking lot. By this point, my adrenaline is sky high. Over there, I was scared. My palms were sweaty. My heart was racing. I was panicked. Over here, I was excited because I had accomplished it. And guess what? My palms were sweaty. My heart was racing. I still had the same emotions. Because when you're interested in something and you're scared, it's the same feeling in your body when you're committed and you're excited. I went on, I don't know how many more zip lines that day. We had an amazing time, and I will never do it again. But it was way fun. But what it did teach me is it's worth overcoming the fear, and that I get to choose that emotion. I got to choose if I was going to be scared, or choose if I was going to be excited. A lot of people get really nervous about finding their spark. It's the same thing. Are you going to just sit with it and let fear override? Or are you going to be committed to live out your spark and your unique self and let yourself shine? You get to choose. I hope that you go on the zip line with me. You don't have to be upside down. Just choose this one. Now, you all voluntarily decided that you would commit to at least one thing today. We talked about all kinds of opportunities. Swapping phone numbers with somebody here as an accountability partner. Asking people what your superpower is. Figuring out your spark a little bit more. Understanding your values at a deeper level and sharing them. Starting to adventurate. So I want you to take just a second and jot down what's one thing that you will commit to doing today. Just one. You can be scared of it, that's fine. I'll hold you accountable if you give me a number. As you write that down, I would love the opportunity to stay connected on social, on the podcast, whatever that looks like. So if you want my info, just scan that QR code and we'll stay in touch. Mark Twain once said, there are two most important days in your life. The day that you were born and the day that you figure out why. I think